Okay, Bill Gates has a his IQ, so he should be there instead of he does have a high IQ actually. Um, yeah, I don't know why did they put Albert Einstein on this list? Here's the highest possible IQ in the people who hold the world record. Like, why not put Bill Gates or Steve Jobs there instead? Why speculate on somebody? You know, why say like, oh, we speculate he might have had an IQ of 190, so we're gonna put him here. No, well, you could put somebody who actually has a real recorded IQ here instead in their place. But maybe he doesn't want that attention brought to him or something, and so maybe he was written out of it. I don't know. And then let's also look up. But Bill Gates also is he's mathematics and computer science as well. So he actually fits the mold of the generic genius. Um, I'm not trying to say this in like a rude way. Actually, I sort of am. I mean, I'm not really trying to be mean, but I'm just trying to say that geniuses are all kind of like the same. It's kind of generic that they all go towards the same things. Maybe if geniuses were to be in different cultures, to be in different parts of life and to engage in different things, it would bring more of a profound change to the world. And if they all just did math and all just try to figure out the next theory of relativity to make better technology, that'll just be abused by corporations. I'll probably have to break this down to like 3 different videos. This is like super long. It's already like 30. I'll just do like 3 10-minute videos or like 4 10-minute videos. Um, Jeff Bezos' IQ has never been confirmed publicly. He was in a gifted program. Um, it would be nice to know. I don't know if maybe he actually has a really high IQ and he doesn't want people to hate him any more than they already do. They're already jealous enough of him for having the most money in the world. But you know, I'm going to go back to Bill Gates. He has an IQ of 160, but it's interesting that his IQ is only 160. Or maybe he plays higher and it just wasn't recorded any higher. He just didn't find out exactly how high it was. I don't know. But it's interesting. His IQ is only 160, yet he's one of the richest people on the planet. Right? He's got some of the most money on the entire planet, but his IQ is only 160. You know, compared to the competition of the other people with other IQs, like Bobby Fischer is right there, higher IQ. Blaise Pascal right there, higher IQ. Um, you know, it's not a direct correlation. The people with the highest possible IQs aren't the wealthiest people on the planet. Yeah, they don't have the most money on the planet. Philosophy is also huge with geniuses. People with naturally super high IQs. They're really into philosophy as well. It's part of the. It's kind of like the generic genius. Philosophy and mathematics. Philosophy, language, mathematics. Um, but you would think if money really mattered that much, and if money was really like something we could use to say like we should look up to these people who make the most money ever, um, you think that they would have the highest IQs in correlation, right? Because we shouldn't just look up to people who have the most money. Because honestly, you can get lucky when it comes to making money. You can make a YouTube video and end up with millions because it was popular, because it just happened to be like something people liked. Like you can strike it lucky. You can win the lottery and start a business. You can get a lot of money just from being lucky without having a super high IQ. Uh, and you can just be around the right people. And having a high IQ is in itself kind of lucky, but what I'm just trying to say is like the people that they tell us to look up to, uh, like there are even better people we could try to look up to. No offense to Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, and there's 155. Oh, it's estimated as 155. My IQ is probably not high. My IQ is probably pretty average. I'm not exactly the smartest person, but uh, Elon is pretty smart. But he again, he fits the mold of the generic genius, though. Uh, he was into computers and stuff. He was into mathematics. He worked on computers. He's a programmer. Is how he started. I think there's one more. What's his name? He the guy, the bank, not the banker, the stock market guy, Warren Buffett. Uh, yeah, I think the idea that people always turn to looking at the world's wealthiest people as the people they want to look up to is such a materialistic it's such a materialistic way of seeing the world. Like if you turn towards the world, he's 145. They do have really high IQs. Um, and you think I think I sort of wonder if like if you just have like the right social circle and if you have the money and the proper education, if your IQ is just naturally going to be higher, like no matter what, if you just have the right things in life. Like if anybody, I'm curious if anybody with an average IQ of 100, if they had the right like people in their life, if they could jump up to like 150 or 130 or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. But a lot of these people were born into money. Is a thing. So I wish there was a way to know what somebody's like actual like, natural IQ is, because I feel like there's a difference between a natural IQ and like an IQ that was cultivated. Like I feel like there's a difference between like potential for how smart somebody can be, like a maximum smartness they can be, and the actual intelligence quotient that they've achieved through their training and their education. Oh, Zuckerberg claimed to have an IQ of 152. Uh, yeah, I think I've said everything that I want to say on this. Um, it's just these people have IQs, but I think it's just so materialistic that you see all these quotes about succeeding and achieving, and you see all these people always talking about like people we should look up to, the most successful people, and they always point out like the most physically fit people. They always point out like the most wealthy people. What they don't point out are like I just feel like those are such materialistic things. Like people look up to such materialism. They look up to the money and they look up to the looks. They look up to people who have these people who have achieved the most. Of course, they are going to have higher IQs probably. Um, but like I was saying earlier, you can still get lucky. But I think once you have more money, like you can get a better education. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, people who achieve like the very top are probably going to have higher IQs. Like you're not going to be one of like the absolute wealthiest people and have like a normal IQ probably. Uh, but I still feel like it's just so materialistic the way we look up to certain people. Like I've never see anybody talk about these people. Like, ever. Nobody ever talks about these people. The only time people ever talk about Garry Kasparov is if you're looking into chess. You know, people talk about Albert Einstein all the time, and Stephen Hawking pretty often. Uh, they're like kind of iconic, but nobody talks about like the smartest people. Why is nobody putting these people up on quotes? Why is nobody putting these people up as like the idols we should look up to and learn from? Like, why is it always the world's wealthiest people? You know, if these people are so intelligent naturally, how come they don't have more money? How come they're not worth more than? Why aren't they more valuable? How are they not more valuable than people with lower IQs? You know, if you know, how are they not more valuable than like some actors and stuff? I think they probably all have a lot of money, just because of like the positions that they're in that nets them a lot of money. And just by having a high IQ, you can like just write a book, and people are going to be like, "Well, this person has a high IQ, so I'm going to buy their book." But just why do people always look towards like the most materialistic things? Whatever. Anyway, this video just got so off track because I didn't end up getting any of the subject that I needed to kind of prove or disprove what I wanted to. Yeah, so I just think that there are better ways we could be handling everything, and that and I just wanted to show that there really is, because people come up with excuses to do bad things all the time. They just have excuses to act out in terrible ways, and I just wish we had better examples for how to handle those things. Yeah, that's it.